if I can record.
Okay.
I
I
don't
need to be host.
No, I just needed to be able to record, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm recording now. And so we've done the invocation and pledge. As far as club business, there was mention about whether we're going to meet next week, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Would y'all want to skip a week, or do y'all want to meet? Or does anybody care?
Well, traditionally, unless the holiday falls near or at a Monday, we usually do a meeting. But like I say, if you want to vote on having Monday off, that's fine.
Either way, I can, if y'all want to go ahead and plan on doing the Monday meeting, we can go ahead and do it. And, it's fine with me. We're kind of stuck at home mostly anyway, so why not?
And Olivia committed to Monday anyway, so.
That's right. Olivia's going to give a big speech.
Wait. I changed my mind on it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to your speech on Monday, Olivia.
Wow. What have I done? I was one of the ones that wanted to take off. All right. I think I'll make my speech about how I was forced to do a speech.
That could be a good one. So we'll plan on having the meeting on Monday, the 30th, unless there's any objections or if any further discussion. Okay. Is there any other club business? Does anybody have anything to discuss?
Let's see. From last week, that was all we had. That Luke was out at a meeting after Thanksgiving. Okay, that was it. That was old business.
I have a question. On the evaluation tonight, do I need to worry about the minutes about reading it out, or that somebody else's job?
As far as doing the minutes, I think, well, Olivia, will you take care of that? Have you been?
I'm sorry.
The meeting minutes?
Yeah, I have the meeting. Yeah, I just didn't send them out from last week, but I have last week sitting right here on my desk. So I will type up last week's and this week.
Okay, I was just asking because I'm a general evaluator. I didn't know if I need to worry about that or not.
Okay, no, Olivia will take care of it.
Yeah, I'll take the minutes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, well, I will now at this time turn the meeting over to Carrie, as she will be our Toastmaster for this evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carrie Noma. I am your Toastmaster tonight. So this Toastmaster meeting contains 3 portions. First is a prepare speeches, second, table topics, and the third, evaluation. I don't think we have a prepare speeches this week, but we're going to have one next week, Olivia. But unfortunately, we don't have, do we? I don't think we have prepare speech, right? No prepare speech. So let's move on to the next portion of this meeting, which is table topic. Oh, I'm sorry. Just forget. Anyway, let me start over, okay?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carrie Norman. I am your Toastmaster tonight. Toastmaster meeting contains 3 portions. First, prepare speeches. Second, table topics. And then last one is evaluation. And we have each roles. So let's start a timer, which is Skylar tonight. Tell us what your role.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Kyler, and I will be the timer for this evening. This is Ollie, in case you're curious. So for tonight's meeting, I think we'll mostly be doing table topics. We may have a pocket speech. So I will be using, I will continue the tradition of using things from around the house. Green means you've met your required time, so 1 to 2 minutes for table topics and 5 to 7 minutes for a speech. And then of course, yellow means you're coming up on the maximum amount of time, and then red meaning that you've hit the maximum amount of time and it's time to wrap it up. If you have any questions, let me know, and we'll go from here. I'll give the lectern back to Carrie.
Thank you, Kyler. Next, our counter, Cheyenne.
Hello, I will be our counter. I will be looking for filler words, but anything like that that you're using in place of continuing your speech, and I'll give a report at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Next, grammarian, Olivia, and then please tell us your role and today's word.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia, and my role today is the grammarian. In being a grammarian, I will be looking for misuse of the English language from those that give a pocket speech, prepared speech tonight. It will be our table topics and as well as the evaluation. Our word for today is chimera, and the definition of that is a thing that is hoped or wished for, but in fact is illusionary or impossible to achieve. And the definition, the example that was given on Webster was, on Google, was the economic sovereignty you claim to defend is chimera, is a chimera. So it is a noun. Oh, well, no, that's actually an adjective.
I have a question about the word of the day. Is that chimera the same as like the mythical creature, the chimera?
Yes, yes, it actually had two.
Because it says
Yeah,
imaginary creature. Okay.
Yeah, in Greek mythology, it's a fire-breathing female monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail.
That's cool. I like that.
You
definition.
don't have to,
Okay, so yeah, you can call someone. What were you saying, Donovan?
I said, at least you have to, be face to face with it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, back to you, Miss Carrie.
Thank you, Olivia. Could you put it in the chat box?
Oh, it's in there. Oh, yeah, I have to redo it for those that just came on. Sure will.
Thank you. Okay. Meanwhile, let's move on to general evaluator, Donovan.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. First, I want to go ahead and just say what the general evaluator role in my own role. The general evaluator is basically a review of the whole meeting. I'll be looking at the times, if we start on time the meeting, and see if we actually also when they end as well. And I'll also do the time for the different roles as well, just to keep up with the time during the meeting, and then I'll send that to Olivia so she can do the minutes. Back to you. This is Toastmaster.
Okay. Thank you, Donovan. Next, table topics master, Davey.
Hello again, everyone. I will be the table topics master for this evening. And so I will be asking a question or ask for comments on different topics, and you won't know in advance what they are. And I can just pick someone and ask you the question, and then you can choose to answer it in 1 to 2 minutes, preferably. And that will give you a good opportunity to work on your impromptu skills, because a lot of times when you're working, your boss might ask you a question that you weren't expecting, and you need to be able to think without having to prepare ahead of time. So this is a good opportunity to practice that. So that's what I'm doing this evening. Back to you, Miss Carrie.
Thank you, David. Do we have an education overview tonight?
Luke was going to try to do one, but since he's not here, I don't believe we have one.
Okay, so we're going to skip the education overview. Otherwise, we're going to the next portion, of the meeting table topic. So go to the table topic, Master Debbie.
Very good. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the table topics portion of the meeting. It's 7:02, so we'll have a little extra time so we can go through. Everyone will have an opportunity to do one or more table topics this evening, so that'll be great. And what I've done last week, we did some things on Thanksgiving. So this week, I thought we could just try back to sort of random questions. So I have a list of some cards here that I have some questions or thoughts on, and I'll pick someone and ask you your thoughts on it. So we could start with perhaps Donovan. Would you like to start if I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. This on the card is, what was your first thought when you woke up this morning?
Okay. The question I have been prompted is, what was my first thought when I woke up this morning? Well, that's another complex question because sometimes the thought isn't always, conscious, because sometimes when you wake up, you're not really awake just yet. So I don't really remember what my thought was, but I could speculate that my thought was, what can I do to get through today? And I also thought this morning that I'm going to pray for the people who isn't accepting the coronavirus as a natural virus. Just to pray for them because there's a lot of things going on and they're not throwing the gun as other people. I just wanted, I was praying for them as they introducing the day. I mean, back to you, David.
Thank you, Donovan. I think that's a good, honest answer. And I really like that you talked about you're praying for other people, for coronavirus victims. And that's something I need to do more of, is just have more empathy and thinking about my fellow human beings.
Yeah, it helps me to get through every single day.
Sure, definitely. Because when I do that, yeah, my own problems all of a sudden don't seem as big.
Yeah.
Very good. So for the next, would you like to go, Maurice?
Yes.
Okay. Can you name a time in life that turned out better than you expected?
Can I think of a time in my life that turned out better than I expected? Since we're short on time and I got to get the table topic out of my mouth, I'll just say a time when I thought I was going to do poorly on a test and I ended up doing much better on a test in school. Yeah, a chimera, but it wasn't. Mr. Topics Master.
Very good. Very good. Actually, I've run into that as well. My senior year, when I was studying at South as a civil engineer, I had to take the first part of the fundamentals to become a professional engineer is an 8-hour exam. And we were taking it, actually it was my junior year, and it was more of a practice time. So we would take it again our senior year. And I absolutely knew I failed it. I took it, I guessed at so many of them. It's like, I failed it. In 3 months or whenever we got our results back and it said passed. And I didn't argue with anyone. I was like, okay, works for me. So I have another question, and I will ask Kyler if you would like to participate. Okay, this question is, have you ever had a nickname? And if you have, how did you get it?
Nickname. To think about that. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. This evening I've been asked if I've ever had a nickname. I can't say that I've had like a nickname per se. Like sometimes people will shorten my name and just say like Kai or something. Oh yeah, I do have a nickname. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so I guess you could consider this a nickname. My name is spelled Keuler. So if you were to say it phonetically, it would be Kueller. So a lot of my friends will just call me Kueller. And I got tired of arguing with them, so I just hear it and it just goes in one ear and out the other. Yeah, and Cheyenne's favorite thing is to quote Ferris Bueller's Day Off and be like, Kueller, Kueller, Kueller. So I do have a nickname, although it's actually my real name. So thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thanks, Kai. Cool. My nickname in the past, people used to always call me by Spuds. It was when Spuds McKenzie was popular for Budweiser beer, was it? And I was starting a new job in construction on the Cochrane Bridge. And I think some of the people that gave me that nickname were kind of trying to protect me or get me into the family. And so that was like a cool nickname. So, but it stuck. I mean, to this day, some of my old friends will call me Spuds. So since we just went with Kyler, we could try Cheyenne if you're up. Okay. What kind of comedy makes you laugh the hardest?
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I've been asked what type of comedy makes me laugh the hardest. I consider myself well-cultured and well-versed when it comes to comedy and movies and all types of genres and entertainment forms. I think that my comedy preference has changed, either just overdoing one type or as you get older, you're allowed to watch more things. So I would say when I first started getting into comedy, the slapstick, Dumb and Dumber, that kind of stuff was funny to me. But now that I am older, I think dark humor has a place in the comedy scene. Not too dark, like depressing, but like kind of shock value humor. So I don't go too dark, but I think a little bit is appropriate for that genre. And I've learned to be able to appreciate all forms of comedy. So I would say, as long as it's not absolutely ridiculous, then it will probably make me laugh. Back to you, Table Topics.
Thank you, Cheyenne. I can agree with that. I love dark humor, and I love what I laugh the hardest at are things that are really over the line, things that just shouldn't be said, but they said it anyway. And even if I feel bad about it and completely disagree with it and would never say it, it's just, I burst out laughing. But it takes a special comedian, I think, that can get away with doing that. So how about Carrie, would you like a Table Topics?
Sure.
Name something new that you've recently learned.
I got one. Months ago, actually 1 year ago, when I back to Japan, my dentist in my hometown made the customized mouthpiece. Very customized. I really appreciate it. And plus it was reasonable price. And really even make me happier. Then how to take care of it. Not just the rinse it with the running water. And he recommended me to use some sort of the chemical stuff And I went to buy in a grocery store, and then it's reasonable price. And the name, and then I read the instruction how to use it. The term is, I'm sorry, I can't really remember exactly. Denture, no, polydenture or something. And then that's the term probably only for this purpose, to clean the mouthpiece or fake teeth or something like that. And if I didn't use the mouthpiece, or if my dentist didn't recommend me to use it, I will never ever learn this English term. I was so happy. I feel like I'm the only Japanese who know this English term because I'm using the mouthpiece. And that's a new term. And that's how I learn it. That's an everyday language. I will never learn it in the English textbook in the school, or in college, at college, or not just really reading or study English term. That's really everyday practical term. That's the term I'm learning. And anybody know the exactly term denture? No, I'm sorry, polydenture. What's the term?
I think
That
that's
sounds
Anybody
about
know?
right. Polydenture,
Denture. Okay.
polygrip for your
Doesn't matter.
dentures.
Thank you, Olivia. You're my English teacher.
Thank you, Carrie. It's amazing how we can learn things in places that we wouldn't expect to, like a dentist office or anywhere. It's always good to keep an open mind and be receptive to learning new things. So I think Olivia would be next by the process of elimination. And my question for you is, what is the biggest risk you've ever taken and how did that work out?
I've taken so many risks. I'm a risk taker. I'll tell you what, I know I have pushed the limit quite a few times, and I just truly think that there is a divine intervention that has taken over and saved me from a lot of things. But I can remember once when I was 23 years old, and I had recently started a job, and back then I had quite the temper, shall I say. So my supervisor said something to me that I did not like, and I replied back in a way that was very risky. And what I said to my supervisor was pretty bad, that I won't repeat it. So that wasn't the risk. The risk was he didn't quite hear what I said. So he asked me, "Did you say what I think you said?" And for a brief second, I had the notion to say, "No, what do you mean? I didn't say anything." And it wasn't like I did not, when I said it the first time, it was without thinking. It was just a gut reaction. But when he said, "Did you say what I think you said?" I had the presence of mind to think and say, "Oh no, I didn't say a thing." And he said, when he asked me, "Olivia, did you say what I think you said?" I paused and I was like, "No. If I said it once, I have to be able to say it twice." So I told him, "Yes, that's just what I said." And I just knew the moment I said that, I said to myself, "Uh-oh, you just lost your job." And I didn't lose my job, and I ended up working there for 18 years before I quit last year. So I have taken my share of risk, and I do think that the Holy Spirit just has covered me in some of them. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Olivia. That's a really good story. I've said some things to my boss's boss even, that
Oh, yeah.
perhaps I shouldn't have said, but it's worked out. I think another risk that you alluded to there was leaving your job after 18 years for something new. That's impressive. That's incredible too. So cool.
Yeah. It was kind of scary, but yeah, I thought about that as being a risk, but it wasn't as fun or wasn't as pulsating as the risk that I took when I told him, "Yeah, I said it. Now what?" I was
Okay.
so glad you asked me what my thoughts were first thing this morning, because I had a crazy dream last night too. But anyway, that's me and my craziness. So anyway, back to you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Olivia. And it's only 7:16, so we can keep going for a bit. Would you like another question, Donovan?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Name something that you have never done but would like to try.
Okay. Can you repeat that question, please?
Sure. Can you tell me about something that you have never done but would like to try?
There's a lot that's been going on, and so it'll probably be pre or post COVID. If I wouldn't do anything right now, there's other risks that involved. So I would probably say that I would like to um, do something that will yummy, but also fun as well. Like, you know, the saying, the cereal it is, the more fun it is. And the serious thing that I would probably would want to do to make myself to be excited is probably do quite a few things. One, I would like to climb a big mountain because I never have done it before, and I'm also scared of height. And I also would like to probably climb a tree someday, or jump, do a bungee cord jump over a bridge, and a jump from a parachute down from an airplane, or something scary that involves me to get so nervous that I'll be extra excited of doing. Back to you, David.
Thank you, Donovan. Actually, I share a lot of those exciting ideas. I've done earlier in my life, I'm getting older now, but I love to climb trees, and even into my 20s and early 30s, I would find a tree and get way up to the top of it. And it was just so much fun and exciting and thrilling. But I'm more risk adverse now because I know that, it's, you can get hurt doing things, but if it's something that I feel like I could do, I love to do it. So I love those ideas. So thank you. Let's see. How about Maurice? Would you like another one?
Yes, I'll do it.
This one's a little bit blander, perhaps, but what is your idea of a perfect day?
My idea of a perfect day. Well, actually, a perfect day for me is a chimera. But otherwise, a more perfect day for me, besides not having to go to work and not having to worry about the upcoming work the next day, is a real successful day where I'm not stressed, where the day is going relatively smoothly, where I'm looking forward to each and every hour of the day. And I rarely have that. So that's my idea of a perfect day or a near perfect day, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. I can relate to that. A perfect day for me is not being at Disney World or jumping out of an airplane. It's really just relaxing at home and having something stimulating to do, and just being at peace. So that I definitely can relate to that. So how about Kyler? Would you like another? Okay. What is a skill or talent that you wish you had? And I know you have a lot, but what's something that you don't that you wish you did?
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters honored guests, I've been asked if what skill or talent that I wish I had. It's a good question because there's actually a lot of things. I think back about the perfect day, one of the things I enjoy doing is learning how to do something new and trying to find the best way to do that new thing. So I love trying to acquire skills, but maybe one of the hardest one for me to acquire personally is time management and organization. If I could snap my fingers and become like organized and be able to manage my time to be able to get everything I want out of the day, then that I think would be the best skill for me to learn. But it's also the hardest skill for me to learn. So if I had to pick one new skill, I would go for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyler. I think time management is something a lot of us could work on, me for sure. So that's a talent I wish I had, or a better skill as well. And Cheyenne, while you're still unmuted, we could go back to you. So this is on my card, and it's just 4 words. How do you, or how you express love?
Okay. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I've been asked to tell you guys how I express love. So I actually give love differently than I receive love. So for my friends and family, one of the things I like to do is to cook for people. That is one way that I show love. I like making dinner. I like making snacks. I like baking things. I'll take stuff to work for people, and it just makes me happy to see people eat yummy food and be happy, because I know how happy it makes me. So when I can be the facilitator of that joy, it's really fulfilling to me. And also, if there's something that I think I can't cook, or I think it'll be really hard and it ends up being pretty easy, or not as difficult as I thought it would be, then that just adds to it. My most recent example is I saw this recipe for homemade pumpkin pie, and then also these mini sweet potato bites. So I wanted to combine those because I had a bunch of pumpkins from Halloween. So I made mini pumpkin pies from scratch, and literally there was a whole pumpkin, and then I did the whole process to make it puree, all that. Oh, it was so satisfying. And then I shared them at home, and I got to take them to work, and they were really popular. And just seeing people smile when they eat something yummy that you made is just, yes, it just makes me happy. So that is one way that I express love. So Thanksgiving is definitely my holiday. So I'm thrilled. So back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Good.
Yeah, thank you, Cheyenne. We, yeah, I think doing something for others is a loving, wonderful answer, and I can definitely relate to that. We're running a little over, but since we don't have any evaluations, maybe we could do 2 more, and then everybody will have done 2. So I'll move on to Carrie, and my question is, what is your strongest personality trait?
What is my strength or strongest personal trait? I hope it's not the chimera. And I hope I have one, which is my communication skill. I told you so many times, communication is my passion. And it's not about the talking or say something out of my mouth. It's more like a listening skill, active listening. That's that also the previous topic, how to express the love too. And this is my strength, listening to people. Again, it's not just a passive way, but also actively listening to people. That means let them people. I know how to let people talk more. Sometimes hard for me. Hard is once people talking. It's maybe I shouldn't do that. But some people love to talk or some people looking for someone to talk with, because recently people stay home and not many people to interact. And I really want, it's a good chance for me to use this, my strength and the listening skill and the listening. That's my strength. Yes. Thank you. Back to table master.
Thank you, Carrie. I can definitely see that in you, and communication is so important. And like you alluded to, there's a lot of great speakers out there, but probably not a lot of great listeners. So being active listening is such an important part of communication. So thank you. And so we have time for one more real quick. And would you like to do another, Olivia? Of course.
I'm ready.
So since you said you had a lot of weird dreams last night, what was your first thought when you woke up this morning?
I should have known. I put my own foot in my mouth. Well, normally and thankfully, the first thing I always think is I made it. Last night was not my last night. And for me, that is such a joy, such a blessing, especially with the diagnosis that I was given with, I had the blood clots in both my lungs, and then I ended up developing a heart condition as a result of the massive amount of blood clots. But anyway, so every day that I make it, last night was not my last night. That is my first thought, and I always thank God for that. But this morning, I had this crazy dream. I was at work, and there was like a drug deal or something. I was working second shift, and there was this apparent, some type of something illegal was going on. And it was about 5 or 6 guys, and they were to the right of me, maybe about, let's just say maybe 50, 60 feet away. But they could see me and I could see them. And then to the left of me, about 20 or 30 feet away, where this guy starts approaching, and he was like, I saw what you guys did, and you're either going to give me my cut or I'm going to do whatever. So they immediately, the guys to the right of me, it's about 5 or 6 of them, one of them pulls out a handgun and he shoots the guy to the left of me like 5 or 6 times. So he's bleeding from everywhere. He's got gunshot wounds to the head, and he was running towards them as he was saying it. So he falls down right beside me. And then the guy that did the shooting was like, you can go and you better get your blankety blank out of here now before you're next. So I remember I was just grabbing up the trash because my shift was over. I was working night shift for some reason. I've never really worked a night shift ever. And I was grabbing up the trash and just cleaning out my little office space. And then when he told me I could go, I just grabbed my stuff and I just took off running. And that has bothered me all day. So all day long, I kept looking for an active shooter. I'm like, okay, where's the guy that I saw in my dream last night? Let me see if I can identify him, because God forbid this dream comes true. So anyway, I had that weird dream that I woke up to this morning. And then I thought, thank God for last night not being my last night. That's it. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Olivia. And I didn't realize you had those health issues, but I'm very glad that you're with us and you're continuing to improve. And
That's all I can do.
And if you think your dreams are weird, I have to tell you about some of mine. I have weird dreams as well, but I love dreaming. I love, because it's like a fantasy world that I get to explore. And so I wake up and I think about my dreams, and they're usually fun dreams, but they're odd. Okay, well, everyone's gotten a chance to speak twice now at Table Topics, so I think we're a little over, but we're still okay on time. So I will now turn the meeting back to Carrie, our Toastmaster, and thank everyone for participating.
Thank you so much, David. It was really fun table topics. I have a good chance to talk twice tonight. Actually, all of us have a chance to talk, make a speech twice. 2 speeches per person. That's great. So we move on to the last portion of the meeting, evaluation. As long as we have no prepared speech, let's directly go to the Okay, go to the evaluation portion. I'm going to give it to the Donovan, right? General evaluator, Donovan. Yes. I'm sorry, a little confusing. Donovan. Donovan?
I think you're muted, Donovan.
Sorry about that. I chose an audio. So my first question, I'm gonna call on the timer. So the timer, please don't speak. Can the timer start, please?
Was that you, Kyler?
Are you the timer, Carol?
You said the timer. I'm sorry, I was having a hard time hearing. Yes, so greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I will be the timer for this evening.
You already
I already am the timer this evening. So we'll get started. So we had a lot of table topics, starting with Donovan. His first time was 1 minute on the dot. Maurice, 40 seconds. And then myself for 1 minute and 10 seconds. And then Cheyenne for 1 minute and 27 seconds. Carrie had 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Olivia had 1 minute, 52 seconds. Donovan had 1 minute, 50 seconds for his second table topic. And for the second time around, Maurice had 57 seconds. I had 57 seconds. Cheyenne had 1 minute and 46 seconds. Carrie had 1 minute and 30 seconds. And Olivia had 2 minutes and 11 seconds. We did a great job with sticking within that 2 minute range for each of our table topics. So back to you, Donovan.
All right, thank you. The second, also I'd like to go ahead and bring up to is the on-council. Whoever the on-council, can you please go ahead and start, please?
All right. Hello, everyone. We did a good job tonight. I didn't catch too many. The only ones I caught were during Kyler's table topic. You said like, and And during my first one, I said a couple of times and also or But then after that, I didn't really notice any and I was listening for them. So good job, guys. I think we're getting better at being able to eliminate those words out of our speeches. So great job.
All right, thank you. The next person I'd like to call upon is the Vermilion. Will you please give us the Vermilion, please?
Yeah, sure. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters. My job tonight, my role was the responsibility of the grammarian. So I was listening for the misuse of the English language. And I must admit that I think we all did very well. Maurice and Carrie, kudos to you for use of our word. Maurice, I heard you say it twice and Carrie once. If I missed any, please speak up now because I want to add you to my minutes. But if not, then very good to you guys. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess that all the people that have to call upon, so there wasn't any features. So first of all, I'd like to say I think the meeting went well. We did start the meeting with a 5-minute recess, but then when we started to get the positions down, we started at 6:60, and I think the meeting in total was great. I enjoyed the same topic and so on. So in my portion of the evaluation portion, I'd like to go ahead and bring it back to the successful.
Thank you, Donovan. You did very well. Yes, we all enjoy the table topic, Master, like you said. As long as we have no education overview, we're going to back to our acting president, Davey.
Thank you, Carrie, for being our Toastmaster this evening, and thank everyone for participating. I think we had a great meeting overall, as Donovan stated, And I'm glad everyone was able to and willing to participate in the table topics. I think that's an important part of Toastmasters, and we did very well. So before we close, does anyone have anything else to discuss?
One little thing, and this is for Donovan. Donovan, at least to a few of us, I don't know about all of us, but to a few of us, your audio seems to be muffled. So I'm just letting you know so you can make some adjustments to your audio.
That will probably just be speaker. Well, thank you for telling me that. I'll improve it on it.
I think a headset like David's got would be a good option if you could get a headset.
Yeah, I like my headset. Before I was just using the built-in speaker and it just didn't do as well. So headsets work really well as well. But yeah, and that's part of the Zoom or online experience is because it can be more difficult depending on the different technology that we're using to hear each other. So it's always good to try to look for ways to improve within limits. I mean, you can't go out and buy a, $1,000 setup or something, but this headset does real well for me, and I can hear better with it as well. So that's a good point, Maurice, for all of us. Thank you. Does anybody have anything else? Everybody happy to be here, happy to get into the holiday season, what we're going to make of it. Hopefully, I'm trying to stay safe and stay home and keep the people around me safe as much as I can. And being an introvert, that's actually easy to do. When people say, "Oh, you need to stay home," I'm like, "Okay, gotcha, no problem."
Good, I'm at home already.
So, but I do enjoy doing these Zoom meetings. I think it really helps keep me involved and keeps our social connections going. And I think y'all are all really becoming dear friends to me and special in my life. It's a really close and good group. And I think things will pick up eventually. I know everybody's been really busy, lots of things going on, but we'll get back to being a more active group. I feel I'm going to try to get up a speech or two as well. And I know Luke has a speech. He said he's going to be ready to give soon. So we'll keep going with that too and have some more prepared speeches and all that. So, okay. Well, once again, thank everybody for being here and love seeing you. And until next time, it's bye-bye.
All right.
All right, have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Talk
take
soon.
care. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, everyone.
Bye.